Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. So, as you get on here, I just want to say thanks, introduce myself really quickly. So, today, what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you, is how to fire Zillow. But really quickly, if we haven't met before, my name is Jeremy Rupp. I'm with Spectrum. And what we do is we work with small businesses, real estate agents in particular, as well as some other small businesses. And what we do is we help business owners, agents, if you will, love what they do, maximize their business. And really, it's that marriage that we really focus on. All right. So making a lot of money and hating what you do is not our goal. We quite honestly have a passion for getting people to actually love what they do. So for more information on what we do, feel free to click below, click around, and all sorts of stuff. But really quickly, if you could let me know that my audio is working, I'd really appreciate that. Just hit the button, the heart button. Let me know that it's working here, so I can check my monitor off to the side here and make sure that everyone can hear. So, okay, great. So the next thing is really two things, which is where are you guys at? If you could put in the comments where you're out of, that'd be awesome. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about various markets around the country and show you how to fire Zillow in your market. Maybe one of the ones that I have on here is an example, and that'd be really cool. But if not, and you put your information, your zip code or your metro down below, I could share with you if you'd like, at least what the data looks like in your area. And then the next thing here, as I check off to the side to make sure that audio is looking good, is I want to just encourage you to share this with friends and family that you know that this may or may not help. But my hope is that you're going to get the same reaction that we did years ago when we found this information, because it's a pretty big deal, and it can really help a lot of people. So let's dive in. Okay, I'm going to move my noggin out of the way. Actually, before I move my noggin out of the way, here's what we're going to do, everybody, is let's just talk about the idea that, okay, so what we're doing here is we're talking about the real estate industry. Okay, if you're a consumer of real estate, meaning you're not an agent, I personally think that there's a lot of value in Zillow. Okay, and from an agent aspect, I do as well, but we'll get on that in a second. So from a consumer point of view, Zillow has done an amazing job. And if you want to comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on that, I'd love to hear them, because we talk to agents from all over the country all the time. You know, that's what we do, right? And so I'd love what you all are thinking and what your market is. But basically what we hear in general, and there's a few anomalies, is that if you're an agent, you basically hate Zillow. And if you're a consumer, you like it. Like, there's a lot of value there for it. And I believe that the interface, the company as a whole has done a great job of making the mobile version very, very user-friendly. I use it all the time for poking around in various markets around the country for myself to do research. I realize, me personally, that it's a data point. It's not the end-all, be-all, right? In terms of like valuations and stuff like that. But the idea is that I feel like we can all admit this, whether you're a Zillow hater or not, that the interface as a whole adds value to the world. It's in a positive way, okay? Now, let's dive into the other side of this. So if you're a real estate agent and you probably have a mixed bag of opinions on this, okay? So again, the most common thing that we hear, and again, we talk to agents all over the country all the time. I don't know if you know that. If you don't know this already, we've owned a couple hundred houses ourselves. We've also we've been in roughly 500 transactions. Okay, so and owned hundreds of millions of dollars of, or not hundreds, but well over $100 million of real estate, and have seen a lot of stuff. Right, so this isn't, take it with a grain of salt. Okay, like, I'm one opinion. I have the unique opportunity to have the opinion be based on a lot of at-bats, if you will, meaning we've done a lot of business in this world. But that doesn't mean that what I'm saying is 100% true in terms of my opinion, right? So it's my opinion. I happen to think it's awesome, but agents, what they do is they seem to see Zillow making them irrelevant. The robots are going to take over their business and make them irrelevant, if you will. So if you share that or not, I'd love to hear that down below in the comments as well. Maybe just smash that good old clobber the stinking love button or the not love button down below and let me know. But here's either way, whatever side of the fence you're on, what I'm about to show you is, in our opinion, very, very powerful. And I'll even take it a step further and say that this part of what I'm about to show you isn't necessarily opinion. Like, this is just a straight up opportunity, and there's not very many people jumping on it, and I want to share it with you. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of my head so that we can dive in. So here's what we did. Okay, I'll go over here. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is what I did. Is I have a tool that allows me to do Google searches. Okay, so everyone's familiar with Google. Now, really quickly, I think that it's a great idea personally to just everyone admit that 90% of all attention when it comes to this industry is going to be mobile. Okay, in terms of maybe not 90, but the vast majority. Would you say that's fair? Okay, and that the reason that I brought up the interface, the mobile interface being user friendly, is to acknowledge that most of the attention is on mobile. I believe that we all agree with that. And Zillow has done a great job of making their mobile interface very user friendly. Okay, so it makes sense that they have a lot of monthly downloads per month, or monthly users, or whatever metric you want to say or do or listen to in the world. It's an astronomical number. Their monthly users is the last time I looked at it was somewhat recently, but not yesterday. And it was 160 million a month. Okay, so we look at that, and then we look at how many transactions happen monthly on a national basis, and so on and so forth. And it's really easy to be upset about that. I think if you're in the real estate industry and you're not doing as many deals as you'd like. But what I thought was interesting is to say, okay, and this started several years ago when we were trying to figure this out for ourselves in conjunction with a real estate agent client that we were working with at the time. And so basically we're like, all right, Zillow ads used to do a lot better than they do right now. Okay, so the ROI on a Zillow ad 3 years ago was much higher than it is today. Okay, so take that, and we were getting involved in doing our research right when it started to not be as good, because this particular person they wanted a high ROI. They were a numbers person and they were not happy. So we're like, okay, so if Zillow has all this attention, right, then maybe there's attention in other places. So the first thing we did, and we got lucky basically, is we're like, okay, let's just try doing a Google search. Let's reverse engineer this process of where the attention is. So when I say we got lucky, what I mean by that is that we did a reverse Google search right away and found out the results in the area. So since then, what we've done is a lot of PPC campaigns, Google pay-per-click campaigns, to find out that on the PPC side, what tends to work better than not for an agent. Okay, now if you're a brokerage, it's a little bit different, but speaking directly to the agent, this data is just absolutely silly. Okay, so it makes me I just chuckled, so it makes me chuckle. All right, so what I did is I went, and you can see it in the background here a little bit, and I'm going to show you various ones of these. So this is Denver. Okay, it's a 20-mile radius of the zip code 80219, which is somewhat close to the center of the metro. All right, and a 20-mile radius is pretty close to covering the entire metro, not the entire thing, but as you'll see in a second, I'm going to show you Boulder, which is outside of that. 15 years ago, people included Boulder in the metro, and they typically no longer do. But nonetheless, check this out. So from a real estate agent standpoint, if you were trying to get new customers, now let's say your name is me. So let's say it's me, okay? And I live in 80219, and I wanted to do one more transaction per month. So currently I'm doing 12 a month, 12 a year, and I want to get to doing 2 per month, so 24 a year. And I was trying to figure out where to get opportunities, right? And it's just like, oh my gosh, I've been working my sphere of influence. I've been doing all these things. I even am a Google or a Zillow Premier partner. And it's just, I don't know, like I'm working way too hard for what's going on, right? So take a look at this. Do you think that if you're a real estate agent and you, like, this is just a staggering, this blows my mind. So the word realtor and realtors is what we are at, like 375,000 searches per month within a 20-mile radius of this zip code. So if it's me and I'm trying to get one more transaction per month, do you think that there's an opportunity there for me to get one transaction from that 375 searches per month? So the idea here is that, let's think about, let's back up the train, okay? Because I may have gotten ahead of myself, right? I'm sitting here live doing this and I may have jumped around a little bit. But the idea here is that Zillow has a lot of attention. We're not going to disagree with that. But the question is, should we care? Should anyone care, right? So if you're not getting an ROI on Zillow like you'd like, all right, then maybe we should explore other options. Okay, so part one of our process was, again, we somewhat got lucky here by checking a reverse Google search, and we found this. So since then, we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of campaigns for real estate agents. And as of today, right now, our national cost per click for agents is $2.40 per click. Okay. Now, just because you get a click doesn't mean that you're going to get a transaction. Like, we appreciate that, right? And that's why we've spent a lot of time and energy trying to figure out how to maximize those conversions, right? Because a click might mean nothing, but it could mean a lot. It really depends. So I want to ask you this. So if somebody went to their phone right now and they typed in the word, and they're in this area, and this is you now, okay? And they typed in their phone realtors or realtor, and then all of a sudden your ad was on the top four, one of the top four results on your phone when they did that. Now bear in mind, keep for a second here, that they've done two things that I feel are very important, and they're very intentional, okay? And this is why Google pay-per-click ads are impressive to me, frankly, is that people are, the person on the other end, the person that you are hoping is going to be your customer, what they're doing is going out of their way to find you with these two particular search terms, okay? Now, if someone puts in the search term houses for sale, that's not as direct of a search for you as your occupation, if you will, right? Because they're looking for homes for sale, houses for sale. And you see these search numbers are big too, okay? They're enormous. But if someone actually goes to their phone, they type in the word realtor or realtors, then they hit enter, and then your ad shows up, and then they happen to click on your ad, the logic here that I'm trying to illustrate is that that's a very intentional path, okay, to a human being, not just, oh, I want a mamsy-pamsy search on the internet for houses. They want to engage in a relationship that is potentially transactional. Would you agree with me on that? Now, please respond and let me know if you agree with that, because that is a huge aha moment that we had initially when we looked at this. And again, that's why we focused on being good at the PPC ad to prove that what I just said, which is phenomenally mind-blowing when we realized it at the time, could actually come to fruition, right? Because just having the data is one part, but actually being able to back it up and do something about it is another. So just let me know, everybody. First off, if you haven't put your market in yet, put that in. And next thing, leave a comment, do whatever it is just to let me know that you're alive and well and you can still hear me. So basically what we've done here is we figured out that, at least in my opinion, okay, you don't have to share it, that Zillow, yeah, they have a lot of attention, but maybe who cares? Let them have that attention for right now, because if we can get this to work for you and for other folks, because we have, then you can fire Zillow. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Because what they've done potentially, maybe this is just my theory, is your ROI as an agent to be premier has decreased. That's, of everyone we talk to, nobody's is increasing. Okay, we'll just say that. Not just of the people that we talk to. Okay, so if there's this opportunity, right? Because if you think about it, a lot of people have been focused on Facebook ads and on Zillow over the last, say, 2 years, right? Maybe it's been 3 for the early adopters, and not a lot of people talk about pay-per-click. But based on what I just said a moment ago about what the intentional path of a pay-per-click ad or pay-per-click process versus someone being on Zillow or on Facebook, okay? Now, when I go to Zillow, I'm searching. Excuse me. I'm browsing, I'm surfing, I'm just poking around, doing stuff, whatever. I'm not on there to transact. I'm on there to learn, okay? But if I type in the word realtor in an area, that is a transactional effort. Would you agree with that? Okay, so now let's poke around a few cities, because this is nuts, right? I don't know what the math is on 375,000 or whatever that exact math is throughout the country, but it's a big number per year. So if you want another transaction a month or 3 or 6 or 12 or whatever, quite frankly, honestly, the sky's the limit. I mean, look at this. This is just obnoxious. So let's look at some other places. Okay, I did Atlanta. This one was crazy. Okay, Atlanta was almost $1 million a month. What the? Like, oh my gosh, like this is like part angry and excited all at the same time, because like this is nuts. Do you agree? I mean, say something and tell me you agree. Let's keep going. Like, look at a small town in the middle of nowhere. Like, look at what theirs is. Look at Best Realtor. Like, this is nuts. This is a town of like 100,000 people in the middle of nowhere. Boulder. I think the population of Boulder is right around 100,000. I don't know exactly. I actually used to live right near there. But either way, 10-mile radius. Look at that. It's crazy. Burnsville, Minnesota. This is a southern suburb that's kind of a forgotten little suburb. Look at this, right? Unbelievable. Huge numbers. Now look at this is crazy. Okay, I did a bigger radius here just to try to get a representation because the metro is so large, right? But look at this. I thought there was 2 of them on here. I'm sorry, and the print is small on my end, but nonetheless, 1.3 million searches a month for that word. What the good gracious almighty? Are you kidding me? So, all right, now we got Indiana, LA. This one was silly. LA, 2.8 million for one word every month. Every month. And that's not even the whole metro. Obviously, everyone knows that. Madison, 218,000. Louisville, 285,000. Menifee, California, inland between San Diego and LA, 163,000. What? Minneapolis, 387,000. San Diego, 310,000. Tampa, 82. 1.1 million in Tampa, 25-mile radius. Washington, D.C., 1.275 million. Actually, skip that. Between the 2 searches, we're at 1. I can't do the math. So the point is, does everyone get it? Do you agree with me? Like, this is crazy. So put your town in. Let me know where you're at. I can send this to you if you'd like. If you want to talk to us about I got to go back to this one. So I've only been to Tampa a handful of times, okay? 5 times or something like that. But great place. I don't know what the values are necessarily there, like the average value. But to me, it seems it's been a real estate hotbed and downbed from what I understand from talking to folks and what have you. But look at this number. Like, this isn't a crazy huge city, okay? It's not in LA is what I'm trying to say. But over 1.1 million searches a month in Tampa. Good grief. So let me know where you're at. I can share this with you, your version. And again, I didn't even mention this, but this is only Google. So in terms of Google, Bing, and Yahoo, the 3 major search engines, Google has about roughly 80% of the market share. Okay, so between Bing and Yahoo, basically what we can do is we can add 20% to this. This is just, basically this is what I've been told, right? Is that, and if someone in here can correct me, I would love that, because I consistently have been told this, and it may not be true, but I do believe that it is true, because this is just a Google search tool. This isn't a all search tool. So this is only Google. But since we do know that Google has roughly 80% of the market share, that there's probably going to be 20% more searches per month if you do PPC ads across all 3 search engines, right? Does that make sense for everybody? So, holy cow, everybody. Let me know if you think this opportunity is valuable. I genuinely hope that this is helpful to you. So if you're frustrated with Zillow, or quite frankly, if you're frustrated with any of your marketing efforts and you're not getting the ROI you're looking for, please reach out. We have free downloads. I'll put, I'll put the marketing ROI calculator down below that you could click on if you'd like. And you can check that out. You can also just reach out to us. If you get that, it's a free download. You can also schedule a call to talk with us and do a consultation and just explore what's going on. Sales funnels are a big part of this. We won't go into that. Check that out in another video. But I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you guys. Thank you for hitting these buttons and sharing these comments. Hit me up in the DM, hit us up, let us know what questions you have. We really appreciate the opportunity to add value. We just love what we do. We practice what we preach. So thank you again so much, and looking forward to talking some more and doing another one in a couple days. Talk to you soon. Laters.